And everybody knows Lil Cam is about to tell right now. Like he's getting ready to tell on everybody. You have to understand that he doesn't want to have to go down for it, and it's more people it's more people who are going to come out after Lil Cam tells, due to the fact that he doesn't want to go down for this on his own, so he's going to take the people down with him. First of all, he should have never been involved in this whole thing. He should have stayed at home and did his homework or whatever, right? Like he really shouldn't have been out there in the first place going to that whole party. And on the second note, it's like, why is he beefing with Quavo? Why does he even have any problems? Like it's like 10 years younger than all of them, at least at a minimum. And so when you really look at it, it's like, okay, who put this person, like who used him? Because if you look at it, like they might have used him to set up the whole thing, just due to the fact that they know that he probably will get in less trouble than somebody else. And then the fact that now he's gonna go and tell on the whole mob is crazy, because now everybody is running, and there's more people out there, especially that ran off that whole bowling alley into the parking lot and dipped. Because there was other people there too, like 40 people seen what happened, and they all saying that, okay, Lil Cam was there, and then it was also there's other people arguing. It was a whole back and forth going on. So now they got Lil Cam in the hot seat, and they asking him 21 questions. They saying, who was there? Who were you with? Who did you drive with? Who gave you a ride? Who dropped you off? Who gave you a ride home? And so all these questions are being asked, and Lil Cam never sat in the hot seat before. So he started to sing. He's starting to tell everything. Like he's dang near about to tell on half of Houston. And if he tells on half of Houston, then he's going to have to be basically put up into protection and everything like that. So that way, it's too many factors, too many people on the inside that is with this group, too many people on the inside that's also like trying to show respect to Takeoff. And now Lil Cam comes in, he's about to basically break this whole thing apart because of the telling and the snitching and everything like that. So it's like, they should have never even got involved in the first place. That way, now it's even worse for him, because it's like, okay, if you were going to do that, now you're going to tell on yourself and everything too. So he's for sure going to be looking at a hefty amount of time. And a lot of people are looking at it like, dang, Cam basically just threw away all his opportunities. Now he's never going to be able to, actually get like chances to do a lot of different things that you could have did if you weren't a part of this whole mess. And so he basically threw away his future, and all for what? Just a little bit of cash or something. Maybe somebody paid a little bit. A lot of people are saying that they seen a Lil Cam with the brown paper bag of money, so somebody definitely paid him something, because none of this stuff, unless it's like very, very personal and you already have people from your side gone, it never gets to the point to where they're going to do any of this kind of things that happen for free. And so like somebody had to get paid in some sort of way, convinced to show up, to do this, to start the argument. It's a whole lot that goes into it. And really, it's not actually going to be 100% clear until they break down Lil Cam and he actually tells the whole story. Because once he tells the whole story, it's going to be like 2 or 3 more people that they're going to be looking for right after that. And the only reason they're looking for that is because they were directly right there involved, actually sending back and everything. And they ran off just as the same way Cam did, and they hopped up in the same whip he did. He's not the only one that hopped up in his whip. He came with other people. The dude did not show up there alone. So the fact that he didn't show up there alone, now they're asking, where are his accomplices? Where are all the people that he pulled up with? Because whether he knows it or not, they actually all a part of it if they helped him get there, and accessories after that. And like, that's what a lot of people are saying. And they only saying that because they out there in Houston and they know what's really going on out there in the streets are talking right now. Not only the streets talking, but Lil Cam is talking. And there's going to be a lot of other people. Like if they ask anybody from, MobTies, what happened, this and that. Now they're not going to want to talk, but one of them, whoever was in the argument at a MobTies, they might have already talked to point fingers and this and that, or even let them know like what their side of the situation. But we don't know if they're the ones who pointed out where Cam was or who he is or anything like that. But that's pretty sure that came from the footages and all that and the replays, because they already could know who that person is and they seen him somewhere else. It's a small, like Houston is still small. If you know every little cut and corner, if you know a lot of people, it could seem small just due to the fact that you might be bumping into the people who did this there, or like they looking for them here, and you still bump into them. People still pop outside and ride around in Houston, even if they on the lookout for somebody. And so y'all got to understand that Cam was still like, he ain't had nowhere to go. Nobody wanted to hide him out. No one wanted to be the person that had to like sneak in Lil Cam and have him hiding in one of the rooms until like this whole thing calmed down. No, that's too much of a risk for them. So they're like, nah, you can't do that, Cam. You're gonna have to be you on your own at this point. We can't help you with that. And then that's why he was riding around and with the blicky, and that's when they popped up on him. They found him. And when they found him, that was it. He couldn't, there's no running, there's no nothing. He backed in, had to surrender and all that stuff. And then now they're like, you could do it the easy way or the hard way. You could work with this and that. You know, they start asking all them type of CSI questions, and Cam starts crying. He's breaking down. Basically, he's like, regretting the fact that he got involved in this. He can't take the pressure. And then that's when they tell him that, hey, if he sings and he tells more, that he might be able to get out the jam. But that's a trick, because they're really just trying to get him to tell the whole evidence and all the whole scheme, and it's really unclear. It's really up to the judge whether he gets out the jam or not, and it's look like they're not going to let him out of this because of the fact that it's too many people that look at Takeoff like he was a real one. He was a real one. So it's like they're gonna try to set an example with Lil Cam. And so the whole situation with that, not only that, but the beef that he had with Quavo on Twitter, and then we don't even know the involvement of if the dad was a Migo fan or not. We're not 100% sure, but it's a lot of people saying that this has deep roots from issues that happened years before. Like they must have had bumped into each other last time in Houston or early on in their career. And whatever the case may be at that time, Cam was probably way younger. So it could have been a situation where whoever Quavo had issues with the first time he was in Houston, well, they stayed salty and they held on to that beef because really, I guess they had nothing else better to do than to keep lingering and thinking about the same old beef from years ago. And they're waiting until they get their moment to see him again. Because a lot of people say that, it's on site or whatever, so it could have been on site. And so like the next time they seen him, then they knew that there was going to be that argument to come up and play, or somebody's going to have to answer to the questions being asked. Someone's going to be having to squash it, or at least it's going to get escalated, and it ended up getting escalated. And so with all that, man, like there's still a lot of condolences to go out to Takeoff's family and everything. This should have never happened. But now we see that this was an ongoing thing. It was never a good idea for the Migos to even show up in Houston that night. They should have been promoting and working on their music somewhere else. They could have been getting prepped for like a radio interview or some podcast or something like that, instead of being out partying and da-da-da. Because I could understand, yes, for Jazz Prince's birthday party, but it's not like they performed, and it's not like they were announcing about their new stuff that's coming out that they're about to drop. So it's like their time could have been better used somewhere else in a different area. It could have still been like some type of party scene or whatever, but it would have been more under control, because it was like they could have announced and promoted there's stuff that's coming out, instead of just being in some like function where they're not actually progressing nothing with their business. And so what's really happening is that everybody's really just there for fun. And when you go somewhere for fun and you got a bunch of the street guys there, their type of fun is different than your type of fun. They want to be able to finesse something. They want to be able to hit a lick. And so when you the walking lick, you're going to get into those arguments. You basically set yourself up to go to the wrong place at the wrong time. And so when you look at it, don't make the same mistake Quavo and Migos made by going to the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, because they should have been hanging out with their own people. They should have been had their own security and been moving like that, where they'd go to a place that they don't have to check in. If it meant staying in Atlanta, or if it meant going somewhere else like Miami or whatever like that, then, maybe it would have been a different situation, because the check-in process would would have been different. They might have had a lot more of their own people. Maybe they even limited them to how many people that they could come with to Houston. And so you never know that. And so because of that, it's like you had to move a different type of way when you got millions and millions like the Migos do. You shouldn't be having to try to risk it by going to a function with all these people and you already know what's going to happen. You know what happens. Anything after midnight like that, especially when you at one of those places, is never going to end up good, man. It's not a Cinderella story for that. And you seen what happened, man. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below. Let me know if you're a Migos Takeoff fan, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.